Welcome to In the Know, brought to you by the Racing Post and Coral. It's Friday night, and fingers crossed and touch wood, I'm pretty sure that's wood, we're going to have some cracking action on Saturday afternoon to get stuck into as Cheltenham Trials Day gives us something to talk about. We've also got Doncaster, of course, a couple of races from there, but most importantly, it's not absolutely freezing or torrential rain forecast. So hopefully we can start to get back into the swing of the National Hunt season and start to see some decent horses. Hopefully some decent winners as well. We've got our top class panel lined up for tomorrow's action, of course. We'll be asking them to get out of their comfort zone and dig out some value in the JCB Triumph Hurdle Trial. We'll be enjoying a nice episode of Midsummer Murders with a cracking Cotwold Chase. Of course, they've moved the Clarence House, which is good news for everyone, apart from Prince Charles and Camilla, who I'm sure are very confused about the whole thing. And we've got plenty of other action as well. We've got a couple of races over at Doncaster, like I said, and Paisley Park versus Gelino Bello and Dashel Drasher in the Cleeve Hurdle. It is live and interactive right now, so if you are watching at home, get involved on that YouTube chat and get them comments in. Some of you already are getting lively on there. And over the next hour or so, we'll be picking out the angles and the interest from Cheltenham on Saturday. We'll also be starting the stopwatch now about the first time someone mentions a horse winning a race at the festival before they've even talked about their chances of winning a race on the day tomorrow afternoon. I'm Ross Brierley, and as ever, I'm joined in the studio by Mr. Paul Kealy. Keels, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm very well. Cheltenham Trials Day is ready
Love
and
it.
raring to go.
Love it, yeah, 9 races as well, 11:40. You
Yeah.
get there early if you're going, don't you?
Yeah, 11:40 is... Are you off tomorrow?
I'm not, no.
No?
I'm staying to look after all the animals because the missus is working.
Yes, of course. Yeah, you've got to... You've got to get the arc in gear, haven't you? But it's a good card. It's a fantastic card.
Great card.
Every single race has got at least one cracking matchup. And the handicaps of... The advantage of having all these amendments is all the horses turn up at once.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's got nice, decent sized fields. Yeah, it's really, really good racing. Every single race is worth watching.
Okay, lovely stuff. So we'll be going through 7 from Cheltenham and 2 from Doncaster tomorrow. Tom Segal is at home. Big weekend for you, Tom. Not only the racing, of course, but a battering awaiting Reading. It's an absolute sporting feast for you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be moving, I don't think. I watch my son play basketball, watch racing, and then watch Reading get battered, as you say, by Man U. But we were talking earlier, we draw Man U away the whole time. I think 5 times in the last 12 years or something we've been to Old Trafford. I normally go up, but I thought, we're so bad. I thought I'm not going up there at 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday to watch us lose 5-0. So I will be watching it on the telly.
Oh, lovely. You don't think Paul Ince might go back to his old stomping ground and cause a shock?
No.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully...
Say no more.
Yeah, you can't argue with that, can you? So we've got Tom and Paul picking out the winners, well, I say that, but how often does Simon Clare come on and usurp everyone with with more winners? I see you tweeting them, Simon. I said I put these up, and you did, to be fair. So, are you confident? Are you confident about tomorrow?
Yeah, Alice having the occasional good day, but no, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Obviously, we missed the race in the last couple of weeks. But the benefit of that is suddenly all the horses been looking to race. Get lumped in, you get stronger, more competitive racing, which is the bonus, I suppose. So good racing. Coral Racing Club, big milestone we hit this week. We passed 50,000 members for our free to join racing club, which is great news. So we've only going for less than 3 months, till the end of November. So 50,000 and if you haven't joined the Coral Racing Club, you've got to be a Coral customer, obviously, but well worth joining. We give out prize money to the winning owners when they win the race. All good fun.
Lovely stuff. Right. Well, yeah. If you're one of those 50,000 or not, then get involved if you haven't signed up already. But we've got plenty of racing to go through tomorrow. So let's crack on with the action. Like I said, you have to get up bright and early if you're going to be watching the Cheltenham card, as the first race of the day is at 11:40. It is a Triumph Hurdle trial where Comfort Zone is 9-4 to to win again and beat Dixon Cove, potentially 11-4. Those two are very tight indeed at Chepstow. But Jupiter de Geet was impressive at Sandown and is in at 11-4 as well. Scriptwriter for Milton Harris. This horse keeps on winning, flat or hurdles, you name it. And then a big jump out, 25-1 bar those. Phil Deloire, Active Duty, Mombasa and Nieva. But the Chepstow race looks like the one to obviously frame this entire contest around, Keels. Now, Comfort Zone didn't beat Dixon Cove by very far. Is there a chance the form could be turned around, or did Comfort Zone have a little bit up its sleeve?
I think it's going to be very close between the two. But I wouldn't rule out the other two either. But it's that, there's 4 horses that are very hard to split with the bookies. I think, it's another £5 he's got to give. So he's got to give £7 to Dixon Cove now. I don't think that's going to be easy. So I just favoured Dixon Cove over those two. I have a feeling Scriptwriter's going to be better than he looked in a better race. I mean, he's got that flat ability, 100 odd horse on the flat. So he would be my tentative selection. For me, there's more, also more interesting betting heats, betting heats that I'm more interested in, because I find this one difficult. And I have absolutely no idea what to make of Jupiter de Geet, and I think the same could be said of Gary Moore. He said he's absolutely mad in the head and went through the saddle box, went through the roof of the saddling box twice while he was trying to saddle him. So who knows what to expect from him. He looked really, really good, but obviously the Lonazar favourite didn't show up.
There's a bit of a Newbury front runners thing in the back of my mind as well.
Yeah, exactly, and the ground was awful as well, wasn't it? Yeah. So who knows? He looked very good. I mean, he's a half brother to Editor de Geet, so I mean, he's obviously got the pedigree to be a decent jumper. We'll have to wait and see. Tentative vote would be for Scriptwriter.
Okay, there's potential. Obviously, Night Salute last season, you get the feeling these Milton Harris horses, they keep winning, and everyone goes, well, it'll come to an end eventually, and it doesn't really.
Exactly. Yeah.
Scriptwriter then is a 3-1 shot here, and obviously Perseus Way is probably the horse to rate the entire race through, isn't he? Tom, trained by Gary Moore, of course, has Jupiter de Geet, and has form tied in with the other 3 at single figures as well. Unless you've got something up your sleeve at a nice price you could sneak into the frame.
No, I think, as Keel says, I think it's quite simple. I think it's between the top 4. I personally like Comfort Zone. I don't think he liked Chepstow. Don't think he jumped as well as he could. I think he was a really progressive horse on the flat. He stays really well. He's a lot better than he showed at Chepstow. I would be staggered if Dixon Cove beat him. I would be totally staggered, I think. I think he's a lot better than her. And I think he'll probably win. Jupiter de Geet is the fly in the ointment, obviously. He's not flattered by his Newbury run, as you boys just said. And Scriptwriter, as Keel said, very good flat horse. Did the stable win it last year? I think they did. It's the type of horse that you could see coming off a strong pace. Paddy Brannan switching him up the stands rail and coming late. But it's Comfort Zone for me. I think he's better than he showed at Chepstow, and I think he'll win.
Okay, Comfort Zone then a 9-4 shot here for this Triumph Hurdle. Trial, just a quick shout out to people at home. Tom Leach says Scriptwriter wins tomorrow. A Page says Dixon Cove always staying on well at the end. Sean Gurney says head case Jupiter de Geet for me. Yeah, he could end up being one of those fan favourite horses, Simon, if he goes and does it again. Those that have clearly got a few sandwiches short of a picnic, but bags of ability. So where are you going with this opener?
Yeah, I think the money's coming this evening for Scriptwriter, and I can see why. I mean, on flat rate, to win a handicap on the weather of 102, just already shown some form over hurdles, suggests that flat ability is all there. That gives him, on flat ratings, plenty over Comfort Zone. I know it doesn't always translate. Still, it's the bigger price. He's coming from, as you say, a trainer who's been doing well with the juveniles. I think he's the value. He's been by far the best back. Comfort Zone won the Coral Finale. Jupiter Geet won a Coral Sponsor race on Shallow Hurdle Day. Quite good. Watching the replays of those. Gary Moore was totally shut up. Literally couldn't speak after Jupiter Geet won. He couldn't believe it. Whatever it was. And I think he almost want to look. For me, Scriptwriter is
having a few connection problems with your audio there a bit, Simon. So producers might well be asking you to log off and try again there a bit. But I think we got some of it. I think Gary Moore was flabbergasted by Jupiter Geet was the main thing.
He's been on, Ross. I thought it was the best bit of audio Simon's given since he's been on.
Perfect time as well. And he can't respond now as well, Tom. He can't respond. So lovely stuff. Okay. Keel's tentative opener.
Tentative scriptwriter.
Scriptwriter it is, and Tom.
I'm hoping Comfort Zone drifts a bit because I think it's a good thing.
Okay, very well. And Simon, try again.
Well, I've got my headphones in, so I hope you can hear me. Scriptwriter for me.
Much, much better. Lovely stuff. Scriptwriter it is in the opener tomorrow then. Moving on to the next race at Cheltenham. Very different proposition here. It's a bit of a corker, this. A Novices Handicap Chase. It is, of course, Trials Day at Cheltenham. And would it be nice if there was a big Novices Handicap Chase at the Cheltenham Festival to warm up for? But this is a race that is worthy of a festival, for sure. Fire Dancer is 9-4 favourite here for Venetia Williams, right down at the foot of the weights. Right up at the top of the weights is Stage Star in at 9-2. Unexpected Party is 6-1. Ballymore is 15-2. That's All Right Gino 8-1. Malinello is 9-1. Panic Attack 12s. Llandonabo Lad is 16-1. Fernhill, Any News, and I Am a Star also involved here in this 2.5 miler. Tom, very tough race indeed. But two fascinating horses for completely different reasons at the top of the betting.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Venetia's horse very well back, wasn't he, when he won at Ludlow on his debut? Obviously, you've taken a risk with the bounce factor there because he'd been off for a bit beforehand, but he did win with a lot in hand. I mean, I know it only says ahead, but coming to two out on the last, I thought he was going by miles. Better than he showed there. Could have a lot in hand. It's the type of horse Venetia does really well with. 94 is plenty skinny though, on plenty short enough on what he actually achieved at Ludlow. You know, the form isn't brilliant. Stage Star, as we know, was a Grade 1 winner. I thought when he won first time out, he was going to be a real top novice chaser, but he was horrible at Newbury. He wasn't the first horse. He sort of ran like Time Hill, didn't he, at Newbury second time. He never jumped a fence, and I wonder whether there was something funny with the ground at that stage of the season at Newbury, and it was hard to jump out of. But he was better last time. Top weight. I don't fancy it. I'm sure an Unexpected Party will save the trip. So I'm slightly worried about him. He can be a bit keen. I've always wanted him back at 2 miles, so he's off. I thought, maybe Ballymore or Ballymore or whatever it's called, on his first 2 runs had a chance. And I like the Panic Attack form from Kempton. I think Balco Coastal's a very, very promising horse. Nicky Henderson's always said he's very good. He looked very good. I thought he was one of those horses that, when the going got tough, he didn't get going. But he was really good at Kempton that day. And Panic Attack stuck on the inside rail, which I wasn't sure was the best place to be, and kept at it. So she could go well, I think, as well. So they'd be my 2. I think it's wide open, but Panic Attack and Ballymore would be my 2. I just want to take on the top of the market for the reasons I suggested.
Okay, Ballymore is 15-2, and Panic Attack is 12-1. Yeah, Ballymore, that defeat of Quick Draw a couple of starts ago looks very good indeed, and if it's none too worse for that fall last time out. But you're in agreement with the other one of Tom's selections, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much everything he said there. My issue with Fire Dancer is I think Charlie Deutsch might have taken it a bit too easily after the last, but when he did shake up the reins, nothing happened.
Yeah.
He said absolutely nothing happened. He didn't raise his gallop or anything. Now he's entitled to be tired after 800 days off, but I mean he's got bounce factor in there as well, and it just that was on a flat track like Ludlow. Now he's going to be being asked to run uphill just worries me whether he'll cut out again. It's
the kind of horse that if I was taking 9-10-1, a chance that it might improve again, but it's the fact that it's 9-4 that.
Yeah. It's just what he did at the end that worries you, isn't it? I think you have to worry about that. And I've got similar worries. I think Stage Star's a bit soft. He needs it all to go his own way. That worries me a little bit. He was blown out of the water when it comes to the festivals last year, and then he ran no sort of race here. So. He doesn't interest me. Same thing about Unexpected Party. Now, Panic Attack was beaten 10 lengths by Balco Coastal, but like Tom said, I think he's always been very, very well regarded, and he was on a mark in the low 130s, and his entries at Cheltenham are in the Turners and the Brown Advisory. So he's obviously very decent. Whether he's up to that or not, we won't see. But Panic Attack looked like being a well beaten third, and really did finish out the race well, and I like that. I just thought she found Kempton too sharp at that sort of level, and she ended up only a length behind the runner-up in the end when she was almost 10 lengths down approaching the last. And she's won a listed mares hurdle here. She's been 4th in a Pertemps qualifier here as well, over 3 mile. I think she'll really like it. There's extra yardage as well. It's just about 2 mile 5 rather than 2 mile 4.5. and she's as assured a jumper as the top ones in the market as well. She's really good. She's looked natural when she won on her debut, and I know that was only a poor race, but she also never missed a trick when it comes to the fences. And I like her. I like Malinello. I thought Malinello would definitely have been second last time over 2 miles 6 if he hadn't walked through the last. And it might, although he's won over third, it might actually suit him coming back a little bit in trip, because he looked like he was travelling really well. The winner is one of the favourites for the big chase at Doncaster, and I thought he'd go well as well. It's just too big a price.
Okay, a couple against the field then for both our pundits here at Cheltenham. I'm going to throw one more in. It's one of those bets that tomorrow is likely to go completely awry, but it could be a masterstroke, but a Ben Case double potentially in the big handicap chases. I think Fernhill's potentially overpriced here. Not sure. Right-handed, flat, sharpest tracks seem to be this horse's bag. Kempton and Ascot run absolute stinkers, but jumped beautifully at Utoxeter and seems to stay very strongly indeed. So I think if Jack Quinlan can get Fernhill into a rhythm, I think 20-1 might be a little bit big. So plenty of opinions on this one, Simon.
Yeah, and I will mention the Cheltenham Festival. The 9 winners of the last 9 winners of this race.
You're the first one. Stop the watch, by the way. Stop the watch, Simon.
Well, the winner of this has gone on. There's been 2 winners. Thrown up 2 winners of the Cheltenham Festival, 2 seconds, a third, a fourth, 2 unplaced, and 1 did not run. And it's all different sorts of races. You know, the plate, the old novice handicap chase isn't there anymore.
Yeah, they haven't got a race to run in anymore, have they? That's
but
the
plate, but if you say there's been winners of this have won the plate. Similarly to Bet, second in the plate, Imperial Alcazar. Second in the plate back in 2013. So I think it's just a good race, isn't it? They're unexposed horses, course of distance form. To be honest, I'm not going to say the same. I looked at the race, seen it exactly the same way. Tom Scudamore was very keen on Panic Attack in his blog. He said she's taken defences really well, won at Cheltenham before, so I think the stiffer track should suit her even more, if I'm honest, than Kempton. It looks another competitive contest, but I think she's underestimated, and with a repeat performance from Kempton, I can see her going very close. So he's bullish about her chance. I also thought Ballymore, given that form with quick draw, and also about how well backed Ballymore was at Chepstow. Tim Vaughan really fancied her that day on Coral Welsh National Day when he fell. So those two do look value, and I think you've got to take Fire Dancer on. That was a 0-120, and he won by a head, beating a 105 rated horse. This is a much stiffer, more competitive handicap. So at 9-4, got to take that on. And Stage Star, who won a 2-runner race at Plumpton last time and got beat the time before. So yeah, I'm literally mirroring the guys here. Ballymore and Panic Attack are my 2.
Okay, very well. Just to build on what you were saying there, Simon. Last 4 winners of this have finished first, have won the plate. Second in the plate, first in the plate, fourth in the JLT in Gildasart, and Mr. Whitaker won the last renewal. I think it might have been the last renewal of the Novices Handicap. Yeah. So and this year's renewal is clearly well up to scratch. So I'm sure we're going to have plenty of opinions at home. Rob Dixon, Nick Palfrey are liking Panic Attack, as is Tom Leach. So plenty of people with Panic Attack whose connections went close with Beakstown last year. Nick Palfrey says Stage Star is far from a top horse. And Truther Archie L is with Malinello. So plenty of opinions there in a cracking Novices Handicap Chase at Cheltenham tomorrow. Now we're going to skip the cross country, mainly because Keels is going to tell us that you should be back in a horse that was double the odds earlier in the week, but triple the odds earlier in the week. And there you go. I was trying to gloss over it, but he's made it worse. But the Clarence House Chase, of course, which we unfortunately didn't get to see when abandoned a week or so ago, but we do get to see it now at Cheltenham, albeit the switch to this track, it's not going to be against either of the 2 principals. Energamine is 8-15. Edwardstone is 2-1. Editor de Geet also likes it around here as well. He's 10-1. Funambule Civil are 33s. Amarillo Sky 50s. Sizing Potsy is 125-1. Outsider of the 6. And that's the key thing here, Keels. Abandonments are frustrating, but at least we get, 3 times the runners we were going to have?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I feel a bit sorry for Amarillo Sky, to be honest, because the race was worth miles more, and he was guaranteed third. Yeah. And now he's got a fight on his hands to finish third or fourth or fifth. Look, you know what I mean? Because the others are, they're fairly close to each other, aren't they? And he'd be lower rated than a couple of them. Editor de Geet is quite interesting actually, because I thought Energamine was an absolute certainty at Ascot, because he'd get to set his own pace, and Edwardstone likes a really strong gallop to run at, doesn't he? And Energamine could probably do his own thing in front and just have plenty in hand. But Editor de Geet likes to go. So it brings another element to it, and it gives Edwardstone more of a chance, I think. I still think Energy will probably win. I wouldn't be, I'm not the sort to lump on at short prices anyway. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Edwardstone won. But I think Energy just has it. Fascinated to see what goes on, but I won't be betting.
Say that again, sorry.
I said I'm fascinated to see what goes on, but I won't be betting.
Oh, you won't? Right, okay. I thought you said with the betting there, and I thought, I thought you were keeping your eye on some plunge horse. Okay, Energy is 8-15 then, Edwardstone at 2-1. Quite strange, really, to think that these two are both 9-year-olds, Tom. They've both been in very different career paths so far to meet up here. But this is the matchup you want to see. Obviously, if the Energy of the spring turns up, he should make mincemeat of Edwardstone. But
do you think so?
Well,
really?
I think I'd say he's probably about a £6 better horse if they run to those spring performances.
I'm not having it. When's Energy ever beaten a good horse? I mean, he looks good. He looks good. The Champion Chase was the worst renewal of the Champion.
Here we go. This is what I want. Okay, I'm just keep it going, Tom. Keep it going. Come on.
Funambul's Savola and Envoy Allen. What did he got? Beaten by Shifskin, has hardly raised the legs since. Punchestown beat Chacun Poursoir, who can't get out of his own way. He's beaten a horse last time that I'd never heard of. And all I'm saying is he looks very good and he wins by a long way. But I think Edwardstone's Tingle Creek form's better. I think it's better than anything he's ever done, to be honest. Now, I'm not saying that Energy isn't a good horse, but I do think he's overrated. I do think Edwardstone is underrated. And that's why, I think it should be a lot closer in the betting. Look, there's no doubt he wins by a long way and he does all the stuff and he's got some good times. But Edwardstone's actually got higher top speed figures. He's only rated £3 below on Racing Post ratings. I think they should be a lot closer in the market. I'm hoping Edwardstone wins and serves it up to the Willie Mullins. Massive. I'm bored of them. And wouldn't it be great to have Edwardstone go, smashing him up and going into favourite for the Champion Hurdle Crown? Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
The champion.
All right, fair enough. An impassioned response there with Tom.
Yeah, bored of that mob running around winning every Grade 1 you've ever seen. It's boring, isn't it?
Yeah, it is boring. Yeah. And you've been banging the Edwardstone drum since the beginning. This is the thing. You two are so staunch in your positions regarding Edwardstone right now that it's impossible for either of you to change tack. Because Tom, you've been in the fan club from the word go, and Keels has sometimes you've just.
No, I had to come round. I had to hold my hands up and say, hang on a minute, I'm wrong. He absolutely slaughtered that field in the Tingle Creek.
Did you come round when it had unseated at 2-5?
No, I ignored it. If you watch him afterwards, he jumped like a stag loose, didn't he? It hasn't affected him at all. It wouldn't worry me in the slightest. So.
It was a strange.
I'm certainly not against him. I wouldn't be surprised if he won. I do think Energy is still the one to beat and should still be fat.
Okay, there you go. Well, it's over to you, Simon. We've got one for Energy, one for Edwardstone. Do you fancy mixing it up a bit with an editor de Geet, or are you the deciding vote?
No, listen, I've been won over completely by Tom Segal's impassioned pitch there for Edwardstone. No, I think it's great. Listen, I think as Paul said, it's a race he's not going to bet on, but he wants to watch. Tom's made a really good case for why it isn't, a slam dunk for Energy, nor should it be. And I suppose you're right. I mean, Edwardstone is a horse who sort of had a much more hardy career in terms of over hurdles, ran in the Coral Cup, I think, a few years ago. And yeah, as you say, the fact they're the same age, and yet in many ways Edwardstone is much more experienced than Energy, certainly in terms of number of runs, and yet maybe he is underestimated. So yeah, I think he'll be popular tomorrow at 2-1. Editor de Geet is probably the one horse that you could sort of vaguely make a case for pulling off a shot given his style of running. Four of his 5 best career RPRs have been at Cheltenham. He runs the track really well and this trip really well. Ran well for a long way in the handicap on that Wednesday, actually on very soft ground, didn't he? Just faded behind Global Citizen. But still, it's asking a little bit to imagine he might win. But no, I think Edwardstone maybe is the value play. I'm with Team Segal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done, son.
I mean, I've always said that the people who want to go into politics and be politicians should be immediately banned, and those who don't, which I imagine Tom would be very much in this list, should be promoted. And after that speech, I would vote for Tom Segal, whatever it was.
I would too. Listen, I must quickly point out, actually, because I forgot to at the top of the programme, one of our In the Know specials is Paisley Park at 7-4. He's a 5-4 chance in the main market, generally 5 to 4, 11 to 8. And so, we're going 7 to 4 for max £20 up till 7 p.m. So you've got another 33 minutes to take some 7 to 4 at Paisley Park if you fancy it. And we'll come to the race in a minute.
Is there one in this? Because my producer was just waving through the window.
Well, there are a few. I mean, I'll quit. I mean,
He's saying there's three. He's saying there's three.
The traders have done some. They've done an any two to win, 5 to 4 from 10 to 11. Any two of these to win: Energumene, Protectorat, or Paisley Park. So it's basically you're cheering on all three, wanting two of them to win if you back that. And then we've got an Energumene and Paisley Park both to win by over 4 lengths at 7 to 1. So again, so you'd be the both to win and by over 4 lengths. And then we've got another similar one, 7 to 1, Energumene and Protectorat to both win by over 4 lengths. So basically it's all wrapped around Energumene winning, and we've just tipped Edwardstone.
Yeah, that is true. But we're sometimes wrong, so fair enough.
Often.
Yeah, that's the game, isn't it? Let's have a look. Chris says Tom Segal loves going off on one. Which is fair. Truth or Archie L says I'm with Tom. Let's give him hell. But Sean O'Connor disagrees. He says, let's face it, Willie Mullins is a Grade 1 horse, is far superior to ours. And Sean O'Connor says Tom for Prime Minister. Let's get that trending right now.
Does that mean do I have to leave this room though if I'm Prime Minister?
No, it's all done on. Everything's done on Zoom nowadays, mate. It's fine.
Yeah, I agree with Sean.
It's fine. Or if you do, you just have to go and sit there and nod while people go in the House of Commons. It's easy. It's easy. So, which is very similar to this. It's just a lot more people in suits shouting at you. The Clarence House.
I favour Energumene.
Okay. Tom, what were you?
What do I fancy? Oh, I fancy Editor B.
Yeah, thought you might. Yeah. Very well. And Simon is a fully paid up member now of the Tom Segal party.
Yeah.
So lovely stuff. Right, let's keep going, shall we? To the next race at Cheltenham. It's another absolutely cracking handicap chase. There's one thing that Cheltenham does well. I mean, obviously, the festival aside, there are so many 2.5 mile handicap chases at Cheltenham during the season that it's almost its own mini division. And Fugitive is 9-2 favourite here to win the latest one on the card. Il Rodotto keeps trying to win one. He's 9-2. Your Darling is 8-1. Brave Shashka is 10-1. Phoenix Way is 11. Carl Philippe is 12-1. Guy is 12-1. Now Where or When is 14-1. And we've got some old favourites in there as well. The likes of Cody is lining up. Simply the Bet. Spirit of the Games, of course. They're all turning up here, Tom. But Fugitive's got form at the track. Was impressive last time out. Il Rodotto is another of those horses that people are following off cliffs. You've got horses potentially bouncing back from poor runs, as ever, ultra competitive, and no obvious angle. So what have you got up your sleeve?
Well, I think the two at the head of the market are the right two, for sure. I'm a little bit worried about the track for Fugitive. I know you say he's got form with it. I backed him that day at Cheltenham behind Amarillo Sky. I thought he dogged it. I thought he hung in right behind him and didn't want to go past. Now, that looked completely ridiculous next time at Chepstow, where he had no problems. He went to the front and didn't. But I thought, it might have been the 2 mile trip that day, and he met a good horse in Amarillo Sky. But I didn't think he wanted to go past. He kept hanging into his. So I'm slightly concerned about him. I do think Il Rodotto is going to be one of those horses that people are underestimate. I think he's running better races than this one the last twice. I think they're stronger races. He's gone down in the handicap. He's got cheek pieces on. I just didn't think either time in the Paddy Power or the race last time, the race really went his way. Last time he sort of got shuffled back. Nassalam, Jamie Moore got his inside, and he went from having a great position on the inside to being near the back, coming to 3 out, and then he made a quick move around the outside and was second jump in the last. I'm not worried about his stamina. I think he'll stay. And I just think he's coming down the handicap. He's down a few pounds from the Paddy Power. Fugitive's gone up 10. So I slightly prefer Il Rodotto for that reason. I think it will be close between the two. I totally get the argument for Fugitive. He was really impressive at Chepstow, and I might be barking up the wrong tree. If Your Darling hadn't gone to Kempton, I think he'd have a chance, but obviously he had a hard race there. He finished tired. If there's one sort of fly in the ointment. Well, there's two fly in the ointment. It could be the top one, Brave Siaska, who also got behind last time in that race and sort of made a mistake just as he was getting into it at the top of the hill and sort of got behind a bit. But I think it's tough for him off top weight. The other one I thought had a chance was right down the bottom. Guy, he's called. I don't know why he's called Guy. Is he a guy? After is his owner called Guy? Whatever. But I thought he won on his Chase debut, and then he's been beaten the last 11 times. But he's only once finished out the frame. I think he's been bumping into good horses that keep going up in the weights, keep winning again and going up in the weights afterwards. He's going down in the weights. I thought he ran well last time. In a pretty decent race at Ludlow, won by Bob Hope or No Hope. I thought he was going to win, and he just didn't seem to stay 3 miles. Now, he was travelled much better in the cheek pieces, I thought. I just thought Christian Davis has won this with a few horses down the bottom, sort of coming into this tournament. Frayed won it last year, I think. And I just thought Guy, with the claimer taking 3 off down the bottom, could run into the frame at a big price. But honestly, I think one of the top two will win, and I slightly prefer Il Ridotto over Fugitive.
Okay, Il Ridotto is 9-2. Yeah, he's one of those horses. I mean, the thing is, Keels, in these kind of races, so much is down to track position, look, horse not making a mistake in front of you, not getting caught in the right time. So you run in these races, sometimes you think, he's been beaten in 2, but plenty of horses have been beaten in 2, and then when they're
absolutely, won it again, and he obviously, Il Ridotto obviously does handle the track. I had a good bet on him last time, and as a result, I slightly favour Fugitive this time, so it's all going to go wrong.
Because you're an unforgiving man.
Yeah, I'm not normally. But yeah, I was just really impressed with Fugitive at Chepstow. I mean, he fully deserved going up. I mean, he could have won by 3 times as far. He was, cantering for the last 100 yards or so, wasn't he? He won so easily. And, I could see what Tom's saying about that race with Amarillo Sky, but at the end of the day, Amarillo Sky came out next time and absolutely hacked up at Newbury, and he is running in the Clarence House Chase. I mean, so to get that close to him when he was that well handicapped, over 2 mile, I don't think that's a bad run at all. I think he's just about the one to beat. See the case for Il Ridotto. Obviously, I'd also got tempted into Cool Cody. I know he's 12, but he's the handicap has given him a big chance by dropping him right back down to just £2 above when he ran away from them in the plate last year. Only thing is, just having read the quote that's now up on the Racing Post website, I mean, it sounds like on the verge of retiring him. It says, he can't keep doing it. I didn't want to run him in a handicap, and handicap did give us a few back, and we'll see where we are with him. It's hardly fills you with confidence, does it? But he does love this track, doesn't he? I mean, he's won a Paddy Power, he's won a December, and he's won so many good races here, and as Tom said, this isn't the greatest race in the world with respect, in comparison to races like the Paddy Power. So, I think, if the track brings him to life, I think it'll go well. I think it will go well. Carl Philippe was the other one that I looked at. Jack Hogan, very good value for his 5. I just think he's got a big mistake in him, and that's the worry.
Yeah. He's one of those horses who
I think he's got ability.
Seems to run the same race over and over again, but I'm struggling to see where that little bit extra is going to come from.
Yeah, I think he's got ability, but I think he'll belt one.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that worries me.
Okay. I'm just trying to take on Tom's opinions after the impassioned Edwardstone defence, but that Amarillo Sky race, the Melistic, who pulled up, beat Gold de Bois today, first and third in that big handicap at Doncaster. So that maybe that form was just good, but I kind of see what you mean. But it's a game of opinions and all that. Simon Clare, give us an opinion on this 2.5 mile handicap chase, please.
Well, I looked at. I mean, it looks fiendishly competitive. So I just had a quick look at some past winners. It was quite interesting that 5 of the last 9 winners were carrying 11.7 or above, including 2 top weights. And the number of horses running from that sort of weight range made up about a quarter of the runners. So it just felt to me like maybe looking at the classier end of the handicap might be worth trying to get a bit of value. And if you do that, there are 4 horses in that bracket, and 2 of them, the boys I mentioned, Brave Siaska, who made a mistake at the top of the hill in a race last time where I think the first few home were all front rank throughout the race, and they finished in a bit of a blanket. He never got into it. And so I like Brave Siaska. Form with Edwardstone in the Kingmaker last year. Beats Amarillo Sky and Sky Pirate. Is a good horse. Venetia Williams Yard a bit quiet. That's the only concern. But I thought he's interesting. And I thought Cool Cody. I think again I'm slightly concerned about the quotes that Paul's read out. But Evan Williams would be a sort of trainer who'd be quite cautious and maybe a bit pessimistic rather than bullish. So maybe this is the time to sort of see him, go out on his shield, winning at Cheltenham, and then being retired or something. But I thought they might be value plays, and what is I think Fugitive was very impressive, and you can, the form horses look good, but I'm going to go with my weight stat to go for the top weight and Cool Cody.
Okay. Yeah. The only thing about the Cool Cody thing is I get the feeling, it's got. Please give us £2 back so we can get down to the mark that we won at Cheltenham last year, written all over it. We were thinking about retirement. We will this, that, and the other. Gets down to 145, pops out, makes all at Cheltenham.
Well, he's not exactly a horse that buries himself in behind runners, though, is he? You know what I mean? He'll go out there and do it, won't he? Like, you know what I mean? He gives his all when he runs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you say that, but yeah, he was last time he ran here at Cheltenham, and
he made a monster mistake early doors, though, didn't he?
Yeah. No, I just in the back of my mind, Evan Williams, he's shrewd is one word, I think, for forever with these kind of handicapped horses. So, wide open contest. Fugitive is 4-1 favourite. Keels, what are you playing?
I've backed Fugitive, and I've had a couple of critics around Cool Cody as well.
Okay. Tom?
Yeah, Il Ridotto is my main fancy, and I will have a quid on Guy.
Okay.
As well.
At home, what have we got? Bubba says Guy is Dodgepot has got absolutely no chance, so there you go. We'll see how that goes. Tom Leach says your darling needs to win to get in the festival handicap. Rob Dixon doesn't fancy Il Ridotto either, so suddenly they were going to vote for you, Tom. Now that
That's fine. That's fine. People that don't like it, the bigger price I'll get. Keep going, keep going.
Yeah. That's politics, though, isn't it? That's politics. So. What else have we got here? Diddly-dee-dee-dee. That's about it, really. Everyone's just arguing with each other, quite frankly. So, Simon, remind us what you're going for.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Brave Siaska and Cool Cody each way for fun. But, I mean, there's been money for Guy, money for Nocte Velatus. So, horses being backed, and lots of money for Fugitive at the head of the market. He's been very well backed.
Okay, right. Let's zip along, shall we, to the Cotwold Chase at the 225 tomorrow, where Protectorat takes on Noble Yates, a Gold Cup third versus a Grand National winner, of course. Protectorat coming good at Haydock on his first run back, and Noble Yates improving to be a genuine Gold Cup hope as well. This is a cracking head-to-head. And it's not like the rest of them are back numbers either. Sounds Russian ran a blinder carrying a big weight last time out. Frodon, of course, Ahoy Signor, can he prove he's back to his best? And Dusart, it seems a long time since he was sent off favourite for a Grade 1 hurdle, doesn't it? But Protectorat edges it at 13-8. Noble Yates is 9-4. Sounds Russian is 7-1. It's 15-2 Frodon. Ahoy Signor at 8. Dusart at 14s. Protectorat versus Noble Yates. Is it that simple, Keels? And if so, which side do you want?
Well, I don't like Noble Yates. I spent all of last season backing Noble Yates for every single race he ran in until he ran in the Grand National.
Okay.
So.
And you thought, who wants to back a national winner, right?
Yeah. So I don't like Noble Yates. No. I mean,
You said you're not a forgiving man, are you?
No, I'm not remotely forgiving when that's concerned. You couldn't believe the look on my face when he won it. I promise you. But anyway, I know I'm going to be in disagreement with Tommy. I cannot understand why Protectorate isn't odds on. He absolutely lobbed up in the Betfair Chase. Hacked up, right? The official ground was soft. It was nearer good than it was soft. The winning time was a similar sort of time to when Apple Tar won it. 20 odd seconds faster than the times when Bristol Demai was winning it. And he just absolutely hacked up. It was a really, really, really good performance. I think it's easily the best form in the race. He's already been third in the Gold Cup. He's only 8. He's improved again. He'll win.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Would you back him Gold Cup before tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm tempted. I mean, I backed him for the Gold Cup last year as well, funny enough. I think he's a better horse this year. It'll be interesting to see what Gallopin de Champs does next week, obviously. But, I think he's by some margin Britain's best hope.
Okay, Protectorat then is a 13-8 favourite to win the Cotwold Chase tomorrow. Of course, best fresh. Well, you can say that about most of Skelton's horses. Obviously, with the favourite bombing out at Haydock, Tom, you could kind of say, the race fell apart. But the second and third have hardly let the form down at Kempton. I remember you saying he ran an absolute cracker in the Gold Cup. It's a big ask, isn't it, to go up against the 1-2 in the Gold Cup last year and crack it first time of asking. He's clearly a cannier horse, but yeah, Noble Yates, it's hard to work out how good this horse is.
Yeah, Keel said he was disagreeing. I'm not against Protectorat at all, as you well know. I'm a massive fan of the horse. I thought he was incredibly good at Aintree last year. It's just that those 2 runs, the Aintree run and the Haydock, he just looks like a world beater. You look like it'd be anything on those runs, but the rest of them, I'm a bit of a May, and I'm not totally convinced by him at Cheltenham. I know he came 3rd last year, but and to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed. He was only battling it out with Royal Pagaille and Galvin at the line for 3rd, and I just think he's better than that. I think those 2 runs make him a lot better than that. So that's just my only niggle in the back of my mind. I agree entirely that he's got the best form. When I did my ante-post piece the other day, they were the same price, and I just thought Noble Yates had the hallmarks of a horse that was going to love the Gold Cup. The way the race was won, it was going to be a really strong pace, and he was going to fly home. I wonder whether this might be the same. We've got Prodon in there, we've got Ahoy Senor in there. I think it's going to be a strong pace. It's going to test stamina. As for the point about this is a trial. You mean neither of these horses are going to be spot on. They'll be using this to get it ready for the Gold Cup or the National, whichever race they go in. So I don't know which one's going to win. I slightly prefer Noble Yates, but only marginally. I'm not in any stretch of the imagination thinking he's a good thing. I've struggled to see Frodon winning. Ahoy Senor, I don't know about him now. You know, on the long press run in the Brown Advisory, he's in there, isn't he? I think.
I mean, there's just a genuine possibility. You know, these racehorses have rhythms, and he keeps coming good in the spring. It could well be that he's just, you know, his time of year will be in a few weeks, and he'll be ready for Cheltenham and Aintree and be a different horse. But it's a big if.
Could be, but he'll have to jump better, and Frodon is going to be hard. Could get him out of his rhythm. Dusart, I can't fancy on his last run. Sounds Russian's a good horse, isn't he? But Noble Yates absolutely annihilated him at Aintree, I thought. So I think, listen, I don't know. It's a toss-up for me. I don't think it's as cut and dried as Keels thinks. I think the prices are right. I think Protectorat should be favourite, and I think Noble Yates should be, you know, I slightly prefer Noble Yates, but it's a toss-up for me. I wouldn't be having a bet.
Okay, a cracking Cotwold Chase, Simon Clare, Protectorat versus Noble Yates, and with the rest of them in besides. I mean, given that we're talking about this as a proper match, the fact that, you know, we've got 3 other horses at single figures, and Dusart the outside is only 14-1, suggests that it is, you know, deeper than at first glance. So, how are you approaching this, or are you just going to sit back and enjoy it?
Oh, I think it's a good, it's a good trial, isn't it? I mean, there are question marks about the front 2, or you can make them. So there has been money for Sounds Russian, who's been very consistent this year. Obviously, placed behind Noble Yates at Aintree. He's 7s from 8s. Frodon. I know he's been well held by Protectorat on that Haydock form, but he always runs well at Cheltenham with Bryony in the saddle, and you can see him sort of, setting a decent pace out front, and sort of, making a real test. Ahoy Senor, been really disappointing, but Cinder Russell seems to be keeping the faith. Is he going to suddenly bounce back to form at some stage? So, a lot depends around that front too. For me, Noble Yates, when you actually look at that race at Aintree, the betting on the day, Ahoy Senor was a 2-1 favourite, but he's proved disappointing. So how strong was that form beating Dashel Drasher and Sounds Russian? So on that basis, I would side with Protectorat. He's got that Gold Cup place form, obviously very impressive in the Bet Chase, and so that's why he's favourite. And I think he'll be very popular tomorrow. I think he'll be well back tomorrow, and we'll probably won't get any bigger than around the 13-8, 7-4, and probably shorter. But a good trial. I think the last winner of this to go and win the Gold Cup was Looks Like Trouble in 2000. So it hasn't been a great place to find the Gold Cup winner in the last 2 decades, but maybe Protectorat or Noble Yates will change that this year.
Okay, Protectorat 13-8, Noble Yates 9-4. Christopher McKenna's concerned about Protectorat's Cheltenham form. I guess 3rd and a Gold Cup's pretty good. And we've got how far does Protectorat win by? It says Bubba 14.07. The Cotwold Chase goes to
Protectorat.
Protectorat. Tom?
Well, I won't be having a bet, but I'm hoping Noble Yates wins because I backed him to win the Gold Cup. So
very well. Simon?
I think Protectorat will win, but I just have a sneaking suspicion Frodon will run really well tomorrow.
Okay, Cotwold Chase time 2:25 then. Moving on to the Cleeve Hurdle. We've got 4 races to get through, guys, in about 15 minutes. So let's crack on. Keels is cracking the whip here, going through the gears. And Paisley Park is 5-4 favourite for the Cleeve Hurdle. Dashel Drasher is 3-1. Gelino Bello 9-2. Botox Ha is 15-2. Molly's Ollie's Wishes 11-1. Gold Tweet 25's Lord Accord is 50-1. Paisley Park just does not know how to give up, Tom, at the age of 11. Certainly not getting better, but not getting any worse either, is he? We've got Dashel Drasher as well, another double-figure age in the shape of this 10-year-old. Big run behind Marie's Rock last time out in a very competitive race. And then you've got Gelino Bello, who's the fly in the ointment, the only one I thought who could make moves in the Stayers Hurdle market if he goes and wins this nicely. So, interesting stuff. 8 run, could be an each-way angle, but yeah, plenty of Paisley Park fans out there.
Yeah, I think he's got the best form, hasn't he? He's going for his 4th win in the race, is he? 4th straight win in the race. He's been in good form this year. I think he'll get a pace to run at. I think he's the most likely. I mean, I'm not that keen on Dashel Drasher, I have to admit. I'm a massive fan of the horse, but I think he's got to take his hurdles form to a totally different level if he's going to win this. I thought Gelino Bello might be the danger, but I'm a big fan of Botox Has, but I just don't know what happened last time. He was so disappointed. I thought he went really well in the Rail Peel, but he didn't. So it's boring. I think if there's a pace to run at, Paisley Park will probably stay on to win, and Gelino Bello I would have as the danger.
Okay, Paisley Park is 5-4. Gelino Bello is 9-2. Paisley Park is. You're never going to get much of a price about him these days because you know what you're going to get. But can you take him on?
I mean, you could argue. There's an easy enough case to argue that he should be sure, isn't there? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he wins this race every year. He's got the best form, and he managed to win a long walk at Kempton last time. And he looked halfway through that. It was a horrible track for him, wasn't it? Like, probably wasn't the greatest race. He hasn't needed to be as good as he was, but he doesn't need to be here really either, does he? I mean, my issue with Dashel Drasher is I don't think his hurdles form was nowhere near as good as his chase form, and I think his chase form was all better at 2 mile 5, 2 mile 6 rather than 3 mile. I mean, he might have got it well enough at Aintree last time, but I'm not convinced about him. Gelino Bello has actually done nothing to warrant his price. It's all on promise.
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. I mean, he's a great one winning hurdler.
Yeah, of course, he was a great one with novice hurdler. They don't count. Like, you know what I mean? You got to do it at open company. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't the strongest Grade 1 in the world, was it?
No, it wasn't. No. The only thing I would say is that City Chief has come out and won nicely since. Lofto Rocco's come out and won nicely since.
I'm not saying they're not. They're not bad horses at all. But let's see where he is. But the actual form over hurdles needs improving on a lot.
Yeah.
I'd be really confident with Botox House if he hadn't run so poorly last time. Now, I don't know whether it was just the trip and he's now an out-and-out stayer. Mm-hmm. It looked like Jamie Moore was actually going to pull him up at the top of the hill. But then he ran through a couple of horses at the end afterwards. That day, it was only a week before all of Gary Moore's horses finished tailed off at Sandown. I don't know whether there was something wrong then. I'd give him another chance. I mean, I did put him up each way earlier in the week. There was obviously 3 places there. It's less of an interest now. I might just back him without the faff because I think Paisley Park will probably win. Okay.
Simon Clare, Cleeve Hurdle, angles and price boosts, please, before we rattle through the last 3.
Yeah, listen, 7-4 Paisley Park. If the Inno Special still on offer, 5-4 in the main market. I mean, I just think he's going to win. He's won the last 3. Last year he started slowly, gave them all an 8-length start, didn't he? And Champ was in the field that year, last year, and he won. He's run brilliantly against Champ this season twice, coming second, beating him the second time. And in those races, had Prashima from Dan Skelton's, a newcomer who was a short price, got well beaten. Miranda, I think, last time at Kempton. I just think these are really good staying hurdlers. You see Time Hill, who was another of the brigade, who's now gone novice chasing and won the Counter Star. I just think Paisley Park, everything points to him being just much better than these at this track over this trip. I think he'll win, and I think the 7-4 on offer for the next 9 minutes is worth taking for a score if you haven't already.
Okay, get involved then. 9 minutes to back that, 9 minutes to preview 3 races. What can you do first? 3:35 at Cheltenham. Last one we're going to look at Presbury Park tomorrow is the Ballymore Novices Hurdle. Of course, a trial for the Ballymore Novices Hurdle. Pembroke is 2-1. Henri the second is 3-1. Rock My Way is 5-1. Blenkinsop is a significant non-runner. Can You Call is 7-1. Cruise Control 11s. Bonte 14s. War Soldier is 16-1. We've got a few in at bigger prices. Tom, I'm going to go to you for this one first. And we've clearly got a very, very talented horse on our hands at the top of the bed in the shape of Pembroke. He's clearly got plenty of ability. Is there any worry around the trip, or do you think he'll improve for it?
No, I think he'll love it. Yeah, I mean, this was one of those races where I was very keen on Blenkinsop when I was looking at the race yesterday. Woke up this morning to find he was a non-runner, and thought, oh, brilliant! That's now off my cock. We got to rewrite all this. So I think Pembroke's probably the one. Yeah, the Time boys are all over him. I'm not convinced by Henri the second. Rock My Way would be interesting. I thought he bumped into a good horse in Nigel Twiston-David's horse at the track last time, and could go well. And Can You Call was incredibly impressive at Uttoxeter. Absolutely canted over some horses that were running well at the time. The second Hermes boy came out and didn't do anything for the form in the Lanzarote, but I don't think that was his run. So I could see him going well, but I think it's all about Pembroke, really. I think if there's one horse in there that's going to sort of put his hand up as a potential horse to take on Willie Mullins' battalions, it will be him, and he's right there at the head of the market.
Okay, 2-1 then is Pembroke at the head of the market, but plenty of informed horses with ones and twos and next to their name in this contest. Do you have anything to?
No, I totally agree with Tom. Very much the one to beat. The one I was interested in was Rock My Way, but the price was gone.
Yeah.
People have seen, obviously, the 66-1 second, so we've all been caught, or whatever it's called, as pretty good first one anyways.
Do you think that you can take that literally?
The point form's taken a massive boost as well. He had 3 runs in points, and the second one he was third to the horse who's now clear favourite for the champion bumper, and then he won next time. So I mean, he's obviously fairly decent. It's just because he's got a small trainer that he was a much bigger price than he was. But I'd imagine we might hear something from Simon because Tom Scudamore's riding.
Yes, he is indeed riding Rock My Way. He was a 5-1 shot. Yeah, and if the horse who beat him had turned up, he'd be challenged in for favouritism here, wouldn't he? So any Scudamore gems, Simon?
Yeah, look, I mean, Tom in his blog said, he ran an absolute crack on New Year's Day. The form looks solid. He's entitled to improve that outing. Tom points to the fact that he was third in a point-to-point to the current champion bumper favourite. So he looks a horse with plenty of potential. And I think he's going to go, run a big race. So I think, Rock My Way is interesting with skill on board, obviously confident of a good run. But Pembroke, Dan Skelton, equally in his blog, talks about believing he should go very close and is in good form at home. So it looks a good race. Those are probably the two I'd be looking at, Pembroke and Rock My Way.
Okay, Pembroke 2-1, Rock My Way. I would take Henri the second. Everyone's really cheered for him, but his form is absolutely bomb-proof. Good figure last time out. Stayed the trip, and I'll go with him at 3-1. Very, very quick price boost, Simon.
Oh, we have got a price boost there, have we? Oh God, I've forgotten what it is. What is it now? Someone will have to tell me.
It's on the screen. Perfect slapstick.
Here we go. Pembroke. Oh no, this is one of those tough ones. Pembroke or Henry II to win the 335 by over 4 lengths. It's 130. Was 5-2. Let's move on. We've got 2 more races to do, Ross. Hurry up.
It was
5 minutes.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Paul Kealy's got a train to drive. The River Don Novices Hurdle over at Doncaster's up next. 3 miles, another wide open graded hurdle here. But Paul Nicholls will be hoping for a good day in these novice hurdles because he's got Stay Away Faye at 5-2 favourite. Grand Soir is 4-1. Hidalgo Bihui is 9-2. Maximilian is 5-1. Twig is 12-1. The Wounded Knees 12-1. Park this one 16s with Hurricane Bay, and bigger prices the rest. Stay Away Faye win a Newbury race that's working out well. I thought they collapsed a bit in front a little bit.
They did, didn't they? Yeah, that's what I thought as well. It doesn't mean he's not very good, and
No.
if he stays the trip, stays very well, and he's going to
That's
get
the upside.
He's going to get further, but I mean, I'm not 100% certain that he was the best horse in the race, just the way it panned out. So, I've got plenty of time for this Hidalgo Bihui, who was third to Herbie's Allen at Newbury. I thought he ran really well. I think he will improve for the longer trip as well. And the Irish raider John McConnell's Grand Soir keeps winning and obviously loves good ground.
Yeah,
it
that's
looked
it's a
quite cut
proper.
up. It looked quite cut up there, didn't it? But they seem to be finishing quickly enough, so it probably is good ground. I go Hidalgo Bihui for me though.
Okay, Hidalgo Bihui for Paul Kealy and Tom Segal. What did you make of this contest again? It kind of love-hate relationship with these novices hurdles, because in the back of my mind I think I'm going to unearth one, and then you realise it's ultra competitive and yours runs a blinder and finishes 5th. But what did you pick out of this?
Well, just for Keels, I've got loads of strands in this race. I'm going to do them all.
Shut up!
I'm going to do them all one. No.
Tell us about Rock On Cowboy and Marne's Glory, Tom. I know they're 66s and 22s, but I think you've got a big chance.
Ben Pauling has won this. I think he's only had about 5 runs in the race. He's won it 3 times. So I had a look at Twig. I'm just not convinced his 2 are quite good enough. The Wounded Knee for Patrick Neville, I thought could go well with the Real Whackers. See, every horse has to begin with the Patrick Neville. He's got the Real Whacker and the Wounded Knee. I think I agree with Keels. I think got Grade 1 form in there, haven't you, with the Hidalgo Bihui? Now I'm not convinced the Challow Hurdle is as good as I'm told it is, but the winner's clearly very good. I think the second's pretty good, and the 3 of them went well clear. And what he did do was keep at it, Hidalgo Bihui. So I think he'll save 3 miles. The question is whether he's over it, because it was a pretty grueling race that day in bad ground. And I slightly favour him, but I think the other two stay away today. I know the Nichols team really fancy him. They like him. They've had a lot of money for him, and he's a strong stayer. And John McConnell with these staying hurdlers is red hot, and he wins both of them, Cheltenham and everywhere. So I think it's between the 3. I think the rest are you're tilting at Wilmore's really. Maximilian's had the wind up.
All right, you made your point.
So no, that's it. That's for me.
Okay, there you go. You need to remember that Keels is playing on the wing for Man City tonight, and he needs to get to the match. The River Don Novices Hurdle, Simon Clare.
Yeah, this is a race I've got a lot to talk about. No, I haven't. Actually, I'll tell you what. There's one also I'm quite interested in. Park this one ran 4th behind Henri II when Maximilian was 3rd. There wasn't a huge amount between them, and Park this one definitely looks like it will really appreciate the step up in trip, yet it's a much bigger price than Maximilian. It won last time in a race that the Coral Racing Club horse Lady Mendoza was a bit disappointing in. Actually, she came 5th. But I think, given that I think there's not a lot between them on ratings on what they've achieved, and the sort of the big trainers like John McConnell who won it last year and Paul Nichols are at the top of the betting, I just thought Part this one might represent a bit of value for a horse who looks like he'll really appreciate the trip. So 16-1 for me.
Okay, a few options there for the River Don Novices Hurdle. Before we do the last, I'm just going to read my favourite part of War and Peace. All to get excited about. But no, one more race from Doncaster, because it's of course the Sky Bet Handicap Chase. Another absolutely cracking handicap chase tomorrow. And GA Law is 5-2, T for free 5-1, Captain Nord 6-1, Mr. Coffee 8-1, Cloth Cap 10-1, Java Point 12 with Shanty Alley and Do Machine, and bigger prices the rest. Paul Kealy in 10 words or less.
Cloth Cap. That'll do.
There you go.
That'll do. No, I like Cloth Cap. I think he's got an excellent chance. It was his first time for ages that he's been really competitive. Last time in the Beecher Chase, and he just seemed to be really enjoying himself. He loves good ground. He's come right down the weights. He's 18 pound lower than he was at the start of last season now, and I think he's got a big chance. One last hurrah in him. Yeah,
it helps that John Joe O'Neill started banging in winners left, right, and
centre.
Well, yes,
exactly as well. Yeah.
He had a really impressive win with the last at Doncaster today. And 5-2 favourite. We talk about those Cheltenham races. The winner, one of the big ones there, has skipped it and gone to Doncaster. Does that mean that the Snowden team think this is easier, Tom?
Yeah, I think that. Well, I think Carlos could absolutely blow this apart. I'm not worried about the trip. I'm not worried about. What I'm worried about is he gets behind and starts jumping badly, like a little bit like he did at Cheltenham. Before that, he was pretty good. But I think he's different class to these, and I think if he jumps well, he'll win. But having said that, as I say, I'm worried about that. Cloth Cap, I get Keels. Keels is brilliant with these 99-year-old veterans. He got one over 20-1 today. He got the Welsh national home at 50-1. So
you back what you know, don't you? So
I'd love to go against him, but I want to see Cloth Cap finish a race because he keeps. But he's a favourite of mine from the Hennessy days. So. Totally get it. I think you're on the same wavelength, actually, Ross. If you mentioned Ben Case, I quite like Shanty Alley. I thought he was the outsider of the whole field this morning. I thought the Mandarin run was very good. I think the two of them came well clear. I think Grumpy Charlie didn't bounce the next time, but I think he's got some good form. His one run at Doncaster, he won by 15 lengths. He bumped into some good horses along the way and always run well. I just thought the track would suit him. So my fancy was Shanty Alley in this race, but if Garlaw gets into a rhythm, I think he'll win.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing for me, that rhythm, isn't it? And Shanty Alley is a rhythm horse out there in front. Yeah, and I thought that those two runs were crackers. And like you said, I'm going to have a cheeky Ben Case each way double. I thought I was getting 20s for both of them, but you've ruined it, Tom. Okay, last race of the day, Simon Clare.
Yeah, listen, I mean, a brilliant competitive race. I did look of the last 9 runnings. Obviously, there must have been an abandoned year. 5 of them have gone to horses aged 10 years and older, and they make a much smaller percentage of the runners. There's only 3 in this field. Cloth Cat, Windsor Avenue, and Captain Or. I thought Cloth Cat run much better race last time. I thought he actually ran quite well at Aintree first time out. Needed it a bit and just got outpaced. We jumped the last and second, just got outpaced on the run-in. think he'll go well. John Joe Neal's in great form. I thought Captain Or, Christian Williams is just brilliant at getting these capable horses well handicapped again to go and win big races again. I think he's done the same, with the like sort of Kitty's Light, obviously Win My Wings last year. But Captain Or, I think, could go very well here. But it's, it's a 6-1 chance. So for me, Cloth Cap and Captain Or.
Okay, and like a promising youngster who goes off the boil, 2 caps for Simon Clare. I don't know what I was talking about. But,
Very good.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something, but I was trying to think of a player. Michael Ricketts, perhaps, comes to mind. Anyway, that's the last way. I'm just babbling to see if Keels boils over. That's 9 races on Saturday for you. Fingers crossed it all gets the go-ahead, and it's a beautiful warm day tomorrow. And fingers crossed, after 20-1 winner today, poor Kealy, that your nap goes in. So let's get the nap started with you.
Easy's Land in the cross-country chase.
Do you want to tell us about that race? Talk to us about what's the...
Because he's £33 lower than when originally rated after slamming Tiger Roll.
Right.
And he was a monster eye-catcher the way he travelled at Cheltenham last time.
Okay, I mean, if Itchy Feet wins for you today and Easy's Land tomorrow, then who knows what's going to go on.
He's only 9, you know.
He is.
Can we rewind to every other cross-country chase that's ever been run? And Mr. Kealy said, so the most boring...
Yes, but I saw the price. I couldn't believe the price. I got excited.
They're not boring if you find one to back.
Look, he's seen that you are chief contrarian, Tom, and he's thought, I can do a bit of that. All right, Tom, what's the nap for you?
A Comfort Zone in the first at Cheltenham.
Okay, very much within yours there. Simon Clare?
Well, I've just been persuaded by Tom Segal's impassioned speech from earlier. It's got to be Edwardstone in the Clarence House. No question.
Okay, very well. And I'll go with Henri II in the Ballymore Novices Hurdle. Thank you for everyone for watching at home. And we'll be back, next week and then most of February, because we'll be gearing up for the festival. We've got a bit of Leopardstown action, of course, next week as well. And it all starts to get very exciting indeed. So it's goodbye to January, hello to February, but not without a big day tomorrow. Good luck, good night, God bless. See you next time.